Evening, evening, evening. Well, it's good to be back. So, as we let everything just warm up and people get in to join us, we shall just see how everybody's been because it feels like it's been ages. And sometimes it feels like it's flown by, especially if you're busy. I'll introduce him in a minute, but you can see there's a new face in the top right corner. That's Finley, who operates the PAFC News Hub social channels. We've been wanting to get him on for ages. He's got himself a nice super duper now. Whoa. Ouch. Mute yourself.
Didn't at my ears.
So he's Finley's going to join us for more shows going forward. And of course, we've got regulars. So you got Andy as well. So Andy, how have you been keeping yourself occupied?
I've been out walking, mate, in the sunshine up on the moors. I've been loving it as well. I've been up to Pewtor the other day, up to Windy Post. Done a couple of things up there with videography and stuff. But yeah, generally enjoying it. Met up with Carl for coffee. Yeah, all good.
Yeah, good.
So really good. I can carry on.
You right there?
Shall I carry on? Oh, I can carry on. Yes. So it's been a good week. I was at the Pewtor. Yeah, as I said, got some lovely videos. Posted them on YouTube. Up on my YouTube numbers as well.
Mike, you having a stroke?
No, why?
Oh, okay. So because he had finished and you were like,
no, sorry. I'm trying to do stuff in the background. Just
to trying to play with the chocolate egg, wasn't he?
Yeah, no, absolutely. So, well, it's good. It's good that you're busy. You're growing what you're doing on your channel as well, which is good. So, just give yourself a little plug, Andy, for your channel.
Yeah, so it's the Grumpy Loyal over on YouTube. Go subscribe to it, guys. It's I've just put some local videos up about Plymouth and going into the Barbican. Yes, I went to the Barbican yesterday as well. So yeah, go and give it a look and give it a subscribe. That'd be great. And I've got my daughter down as well, so that's good for Easter. We're going to have a big family day on Saturday, so I won't be around. Hurrah, you say.
You'll be flip-flopping elsewhere. So I'm also, although I will be on, but I'm up to see the in-laws after the game tomorrow. So that I'm looking forward to that, as long as Joe's happy to do the driving and I just fall asleep in the car for 4 hours. But I will be there for Saturday night's show. Gavin, what have you been up to over these past couple of weeks?
Not a lot apart from work, really, to be honest. Work and spending time with my children has been pretty much my entire world. So that's good. No beers, no fun times, no nothing. So I'm very thirsty, and I'm going to try and do a big dent in my Argyle beverage bill tomorrow. So any of the bar staff are watching, stock it up because I've had a very long week. I've closed a deal tonight, but it took. Well, it should have done last Friday. So shouting at lawyers. It's all good fun. So, yeah, tired, ratty, pissed off. Looking forward to having a weekend of no work. Well, ish. Got to write a business plan, but other than that, all good.
Yeah, no, good. Yeah, it's non-stop, isn't it, sometimes? And so we've got a good number starting to come in now. So let me just read out some comments, and then Finley, I'll do a more formal introduction.
Got your CV, Finn, have you?
Say again?
Your record of achievement and your CV ready?
Do they still get the burgundy folder?
I don't know if they still get burgundy one or not, but we used to.
I think I've still got that in the loft. Not that it's much of an achievement record. So that's for sure. But anyway, so we've got VW Coco in off the start. So good evening, he says. Morris Football Talks, evening to you. Good evening. Happy Easter all. Yeah, absolutely. My mate Kev Samo's in as well. Evening, gents. Buzzing for tomorrow. Killian, I hope you're sat there watching too. Looking forward to meeting you tomorrow for the game. Brian as well, all the way from Boston, Massachusetts, is in. Evening all, come on you greens. Stevie Vaughan saying good evening from work. Alex says hi as well. VW Coca says, I renewed my season ticket on Monday and lucky I met all the players after their lunch. All in good spirit with plenty of pics. did you plug the show? That's all I want to know. Did you plug the show? No, okay, fair enough. I haven't sorted mine out yet, but I will be sorting it out. How we got our beverages, said Alex as well. Yes, it's just a squash for me, to be fair. I could do with some cider and I'm out. So I need to get some. Stephen Cooper, evening, guys. He says Bolton in town at the Crown Plaza. Hopefully Stephen goes the Dolphin tonight. Well, maybe you might be picking him up to send him back, as Stephen is a taxi driver. Stevie Vaughan says, no, Carl, he must be working too. He is. So he does send his regards to everybody. I think he might be on Saturday night show and highly likely the watch along with me on Monday. What else have we got? Spicy Wedges is in, says, evening all, last 12-hour shift today. Now off for 6 days. Looking forward to the game tomorrow. Hopefully the wedges will be spicy tomorrow night. Come on, you Greens. Ad Kales says, looking forward to tomorrow. Hoping for an epic win. But no, it will be a big ask. Nicholas G's in as well, saying, evening, gents, can't wait for tomorrow. So as I said at the start, but if you just joined us, we've got a new face on screen here. So you might recognize Finley from some of the publicizing that I do of his channel, which is PAFC News Hub. So we sort of had a conversation a good 6 months ago, I think it was now, and said about coming on board. And, Finley's, well, he'll tell you what he's up to. But we wanted to sort of connect up with a news account on Argyle and start doing that. And we've been waiting since to get him on. But just circumstances haven't allowed. But it was his birthday last weekend, and he's got a nice shiny new MacBook. So he's all there for everyone to see. So Finley, welcome to the show. Tell us a bit about yourself and what you're up to with regards to your education and obviously with the Argyle News Hub. Tell everybody about it.
So, well, first of all, my name's Finley. I run the Argyle News Hub account on social media. And I'm an aspired sports journalist, so I've been doing that for a good probably nearly a year now. It's great to think that's already been a year.
Yep.
Well, obviously I'm at college right now, so I'm able to get news out as well as I can. Because of course, when I started, I was in year 11, so it was very hard for me to get news out in a certain amount of time. Where it was like during the daytime and like press conference and stuff. But now it's more lenient. I can able to put out news quicker and probably have a bit more time to write them as well, so it helps out a lot.
Is it easier to skive now? So you said.
I'm in my first year at college, so it'd be year 12.
So it's easier to skive now. Yeah, I get it. Yeah, good work.
Absolutely. So what got you in, Finley, to wanting to be a sports journalist? So, take us through, where your love affair fell in with your, I mean, for those that can't work out what that is above his head, it's not a set of antlers. That's all a bit bendy. It actually is the Silverstone racetrack. So Finley is also a man after my own heart with being a Formula One fan. But yeah, tell us about your sort of journey into sport and then wanting to do journalism.
So it kind of started during mid-2024. I always talk about football and also like F1 and all that stuff. So I thought I wanted to do something that I want to talk to people about sport and about my passions and all that stuff. So I started posting on social media on football and Formula One, but it was a bit slow because, of course, it's a very big sports, and it was hard to get a specific audience and to grow. Yeah. So and then it was, I think, start of 2025. That's when I started to do Argyle news, and it was the day that Argyle beat Brentford. My first post was when Whittaker scored, and I kind of started there. And then when you came along to bring me on, and then I kind of probably stuck my head into it now. And I think now I've just grown to really get bigger and better news to get that stuff out.
Yeah, it's one of the things we've sort of trying to grow your own social channels is being as quick as you can to the news and posting it out there. Sometimes, for those that don't know, there's a mixture of myself and Carl that juggle that. And when Carl's sort of working his shifts, obviously if I'm working, I can't always do it unless I'm on a lunch break or whatever. But yeah, trying to get stuff out there quickly is always a challenge. Yeah, I don't know if you've seen Spicy Wedges' comment. He says, Finley looks about 12. How old exactly are you, Finley?
I'm 17.
There you go. See, so you soon be
Mike,
legally allowed a
Mike,
beer.
have we got a parent consent form? Have you done all that, or is it just one of those young boys that you're talking to online that you keep talking about? Oh, sorry. Yeah.
Don't call me. I'm not going to mention it because that's not a good thing to say that name right now. But you know exactly where I'm going with that. But
Yeah, I do, yeah.
So I mean, look, maybe you'll get to present, a show soon as well. There's a tedious link, but yeah. So football. Something that you are doing. We got contacted by the guys that run, I believe it's the program off the top of my head now for the Wimbledon game, and they wanted to have an article on, away fans' perspective, and they got in touch with us. And I thought, I know the person to go and put that together. And Finley's gone and written an article for that, which we're going to give to them. So we'll be looking forward to seeing what they do with that, which is good. It just goes to show that the channel is getting more exposure out there with opposition clubs, which is great. So let's move on then to all things Argyle, because that's what we're here for after this sort of 2-week break. So Finley, give us some of the sort of news snippets and the headlines that have come out of the past couple of weeks.
So obviously, with the break at Bradford, we've had international friendlies for Peppel, Hazard, and Galloway, but we'll put the Galloway bit to the side for the moment. But Peppel obviously called up for Canada, but although he didn't get any games, it seemed he was really happy to get the chance to, and I think all Argyle was really happy with that, to get that exposure from League One level players to go to a big country like Canada and train for them, and some of them play for them, which is really good exposure. And obviously Hazard played for Northern Ireland on Monday or Tuesday for Wales, against Wales, Tuesday, and played the planned 45 minutes. So it was good to have him game, because of course when they played Italy he didn't really play, which I was surprised about. But then obviously we've had the presser, we've had season tickets, and obviously the football agent fees came out about a couple of days ago with how much Argyle paid for agents. I think that's all the news that we've had. I mean, there has been a lot of news, but I think those have been the main headlines.
Yeah, we'll come to the press conference bits in a minute. Obviously, Italy, who are not going to make the World Cup. Oh, such a shame. And then, so Hazard getting at least some minutes. Yeah, like you said, Finley, Peppel got the experience. I know the manager there was talking him up on the odd show, and you thought, will he get a chance in their last game? But obviously that didn't quite materialise, and then he jumped on a plane to get back here. But it's good experience for him, at least, isn't it? That's the main thing. And it gets him into that sort of, wow, this is what the international arena's all about. But yeah, I mean, you sort of paused it till the end, but with Galloway, I mean, whoever pulled that blinder, I mean, he had his 30th birthday, was it, celebrations as well, just before. And I wonder if he ever actually made it on the plane, which will probably absolutely make those Bradford fans seethe with the fact that didn't happen.
Don't tell him. Don't tell him.
Yeah, don't tell him. Yeah,
there's been a big spike in the Bradford contingency buying shares in Unilever. I'll tell you that, just from a geographical spike. So I think there's been a bit of bedwetting. They weren't happy to start with, but it sounds like it's an absolute masterpiece from our king, doesn't it? Yeah. He's available. Get him to Heathrow. Oh, he's just twins. You have to come back.
Yeah, there's no point in sending him. Sorry,
Derek's done that. I reckon
he'll have to just stay behind. Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Right, let's quickly jump then to the press conference and what was said today. So TC, you always want to have things to play for at the top end, and at this stage of the season, there's 7 huge games to go. Friday is a game we are all looking forward to. The rhythm that we are in, we'd have liked to have continued in the last Saturday, but with the limited personnel we had, it came at a good time. TC also said on the internationals, Connor Hazard played 45 minutes, as you heard Finley update you all there. I thought he did really well. Ben Peppel has gone through the joy of being called up. training with the new players, but then not play the games. But it would have been an excellent experience for him, and we're proud of him. He'll be back with us tomorrow to prepare for Friday, meaning today. So he was back in, a little bit jet lagged, I'm sure, but still probably buzzing to get back to it. On team news, he says, we're looking very good. Julio Plegazuelo is trained this week, which is fantastic. We'll reintroduce him gradually. Matti Soranola will be ready for Monday. Laurent Talai is trained for 7 to 10 days now and will be available for selection tomorrow. We'll see what Carl and Gavin have put in their lineups with regards to Talai and others. On Bolton, cleverly said they are a very consistent team. They'd like to dominate the ball and create chances, maybe not convert as many as they would have liked, but they are a high-quality team with at least 2 good players in every position. The beauty of our preparation recently is that it's all been about us and how we can execute the plan to give us the best possible chance of winning the game. He went on to finally say, on further team news, Caleb Watts is fit and available for selection. Tegan Finn, Bradley Ibrahim and Brendan Wiradu are back on the grass, which is great for us. We're getting stronger. The surprise one in there, Andy, I'll come to you on this one quickly. The surprise one in there is Tegan Finn, because that was sort of concerning with his hamstring that he pulled up in that away game. Noted then as probably being out for the season. Clearly, it isn't as bad as probably first feared, which is fantastic. So to hear that he's back on the grass as well, Andy, is really good news, isn't it? As it's going to get chaotic.
Yeah, it's great news, isn't it? So, you know, having him back, we thought it was going to be the end of the season, wasn't it? But to have him back on grass again, getting ready to play, maybe for you imagine against Exeter, coming against Exeter and have a couple of goals against Exeter. That'd be nice to sell them down, wouldn't it? But yeah, good. It's really pleasing to have him back in there. And of course, you've got Tolly coming back as well. But yeah, Tegan is still learning this game, still growing, and got a lot to offer, that boy, I reckon.
Yeah, it will still be hard to get back into this squad with so many coming back. But I think when you're up for this battle going forward, then you want as many. We're going to probably be more spoilt for choice than we've ever been coming into some of these games. But touch wood, it doesn't happen. Yeah. More could still.
Our problem, isn't it? It's Clev's problem, isn't it? Really, it's a nice problem to have. But yeah, he's going to have fun choosing from that lot, isn't he?
Yeah, just seen your comment, Stephen Cooper. On YouTube, it said you were going live at 6:30. Did you pick your clocks forward? To be fair, when we came into the show, it was giving me the usual countdown time, so I don't know what happened there. But hopefully you've all found us. Anyway, Owen Aseni was the player that was interviewed in the press conference after Cleverly. He said, we were nowhere, but we're not surprised we'd managed to turn it around. To pick up the amount of points we have is impressive, but not surprising, he said. It took us some time to learn each other's games, but once we understood that, we've picked up a lot of points. He went on to say about Pepper and Talai, they are a great strike force. It's great to see Bim go away with the Canadian national team. We've got a good thing going on. We learn off each other's game. Obviously, he's going to be keen and wanting to fight to start on Friday as well, tomorrow as well, with Talai being back. On Bolton, he went on to say it's a massive game. Friday and Monday is a huge part of our season. We're in a good position to get 6 points. We couldn't be any more prepared than we are now. If we carry out the game plan, we should be all right. He also then went on to say on the Huddersfield game previously, everything just worked out perfectly. To be fair, leading up to the game, I was quite nervous, but always felt like I was ready to play and take my opportunity. We've used the majority of the players in this squad. It doesn't take 11 men to achieve what we have. It takes more, absolutely. Or if you do, it's just all Derek Adams. And also he said, I don't think I've ever seen fans like Argyle's. I knew how big the club was, but to actually feel it at home park, you feel the difference. We need them to bring the noise on Friday to help us get all 3 points. Gavin, I'll come to you. He had that little spell until I was sent off, as we've talked about many a time, and he got a couple of goals, and he looked like he was getting into his rhythm as well then. Then he obviously got crocked with an injury. But he got his start against Huddersfield, and he did really, really well. He obviously won the penalty as well. He had that chance, right at the end. But, yeah, I mean, it's good that we've got pressure up front for places.
Yep. I think we're going to need it too. I would probably say that he's the definite starter tomorrow. And then one of the other star boys will fit in alongside him, and they'll probably do 60-30 or 30-60, I would imagine. And then, depending on how things go, I imagine they'll both probably start away at Barnsley on Monday. So he's been very, very good. His goals to minutes ratios outstanding for someone who has been playing National League football, really. Yeah. And I'm not surprised that he's said that the club's big, and because he's been playing for St Mirren and in the National League. So running out in front of 16,500 will be like opening the oven door, I would imagine. But he seems to have fitted in well. I quite like his confidence. I like the way he came across yesterday. I didn't realise how thick an Irish accent he had until yesterday. I'd forgotten, obviously, from his pre-season interview. But it feels like the three of them are all playing for each other. They're all geeing each other on. It's not a strike force that are trying to all get the limelight and all get the goals. They all seem to want to happy to share them out. And if the team win, the team wins. I think what's really important tactically is Owen's pace on the press. He leads that really well, and he's got probably certainly in the last game, and I'm not surprised because Pepper played every minute for about 100 years, but he seemed to have a far bigger ticker than Bim, and his ability to press was very good. They're both similar-ish, but I think that if you look at on a speed run, I would probably say Senny's probably the quicker. Just holds it up well, and took his goal well as a typical poacher's goal, wasn't it? Follow the ball in. That's what you're told when you're a nipper. And he's done well. And I think he'll start tomorrow. I think he's been the consistent and will press them. They love the ball. He'll play either a 4-2-3-1 or a 3-5-2, whichever way he looks at it. And he'll be there hunting the centre halves down, waiting for them to have a bit of miscontrol, and off we go. And if we look at the goals we scored away at Blackpool and others early in the season with a high press and two form strikers, then we're in every good chance. But yeah, I think he was deemed to be the biggest project player, although we seem to sign 9 project players at the beginning of the season if you were listening to TC. But he was the biggest one, and I think he's got far more minutes and far more goals than he would have anticipated. Certainly, I think the fans would have anticipated, and definitely more than probably the coaching team had anticipated. So I think there's 2 bits of credit there. One to him for get his nut down and take his chance when it was given. Secondly, for the team, the coaching team to improve him. And he's one of many stories this year of, I think, both the player and the coaching staff working hard together to improve their output and their capability. So that's probably why we are where we are today, if I can get my teeth out.
Yeah, no, and Findy, I think interesting one with Aseni. He had that spell, then he disappeared because of the injury, and then even we were talking on the show, and obviously you sitting in the comments and listening when you're not on, and we were saying, like, why isn't he getting picked? Like, sometimes he would be on the bench and not at all. And then it's like, well, surely we need someone to pair with Peppel, and he wasn't getting selected. And you just sort of thought, oh, what's he done to annoy Cleverly? And then Sunday turns up, in the starting 11 against Huddersfield, as Gavin said, as we know, gets the goal, poacher's goal, nearly gets out second at the end, wins the penalty, and has a great game. And you think, well, why is he not being used then recently?
Yeah, I mean, he looked more of a natural striker than Bim early on, and he deserves to get his place back again, because I just think he's got that pace. He hasn't got the belt that Bim's got, or he can't hold the ball up maybe as well as Bim, but he has got that sort of ability to get in there and chip in with a few goals, which is great. So yeah, I'm pleased that he's back in there. Really pleased. He's leading their line well for a development player. He's doing really well. Considering Clev said he was primarily a development player, to develop his career for him. As Gav touched on, he played at St Mirren, didn't he? And down in Gateshead, was it, in the National League? So, yeah, it's a big step up for him, to be fair. Coming out in front of big crowds and trying his hardest and doing well. 8 goals this season, from very limited play.
Yeah, well, Finley, you aged about 30 years then.
But was that Finley? Sorry, Finn, mate. Sorry, mate. Have a word, Finn.
Get your trumpet, old man. Get your trumpet.
I need a trumpet. My missus is bugging around with the dog. So
covered that brilliantly, though, Andy. Finley, in fairness, is it? No, it's all right. It's fine. It happens.
Finn, you've got to learn, right, that you don't eat in this pod unless you start smacking people around the head and saying, "Shush, I was asked the question." All right, you'll never get any food. Just gonna tell you.
Oh dear. Anything, Finley, you want to add to about Bim? About Sonny?
Well, I think ever since he came from, was it St Mirren from Scotland? Yeah, like Andy said, he was originally a development player, but considering he's done really well, yeah, from limited games, and of course being National League about the season prior, it's a really good step up. Same with Peppel, he was not being played at Luton, yet he's on the form of his life. See, I think now going forward, I'd say we've got a good attack if we can keep that the way it is next season. So I think Argyle will now be trying to keep it as it is, because I think it really works with the system that we've got.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting what will happen with the likes of Peppel if he has a strong end to the season. You know, chatting to people at the game last, you know, it's almost like, will he go? Does he have the pace that some of the bigger clubs may want from him? That could be interesting. But look, we'll enjoy it, and hopefully, you know, these players can do what they need to do to see if we can mix it all up in the playoffs. That's for sure. Right, let me just read out some comments before we look to move on. So Stephen Cooper says, Gavin, if you get your starting lineup right, I will donate £50 to St. Luke's. So I like the way you're betting on Gavin's, because there's a likely stronger hood than maybe Carl's, Stephen. So we'll see what they look like in a minute. It's funny how players come back when the side are doing well as well. It's a miracle, says Stephen. Simon Fort, hi lads, looking forward to tomorrow. Come on, you Greens. VW Coco saying, got to feel for Peppel as Canadians' top goal scorer this year and not getting any minutes on the pitch. Yeah, it is frustrating, but he got the experience, and his foot is in the door. Michael Hawkes, evening to you, Michael, the Bolton fan, the Reading fan, excuse me for swearing at you, who obviously did all the games and results really went against us on Saturday, but another big win for them. Good idea by Argyle to pick Galloway for his country and not play. Yeah, whoever came up with that. Kevin also saying, I really hope Talai starts tomorrow. Graham Byrne, evening to you, Graham. A draw wouldn't be terrible. Hoping for a win, though. Yeah, is it going to be a really intense game, or is it going to be a damp squib? We've also got Heather, who's joined in earlier, and she will be with us later on. Harold the Harmer says, evening Greens and happy Easter from southern Norway. Evening to you as well, Harold. Good to see you in. Right, I'm debating, as we're in a bit of a flow of the football, I think I was going to go to the season ticket news recently, but I think we'll just continue the flow with the Bolton game tomorrow. So Schumacher is back on his old stomping ground, and so yeah, there's always that edginess to it. Obviously, beat us last time, so we want to repay that and get a result back. So I think. How am I feeling for tomorrow's game? I think I've just missed it enough now. Not doing the show was a bit weird. Gave me some time to do other stuff with the family and other things. But yeah, I'm absolutely really looking forward to tomorrow's game. That's for sure. What can we expect before we go to lineups? What can we expect? Well, let me just find my relevant screen slide. So I'm just going to bring this up. If it will come on, there we go. Let me click on it. If it wants to wake up and come alive. Oh, there we go. Let me just sort this out. So one of the things that I have been working on, as I just move us out the way, and let's get the chat back in here, is I've been just working on, for those of you that follow enough, I do stuff with my AI. And one of the what is that? And one of the things that I do, what I've been doing, is working on a little tool that helps with regards to what we do on the shows. I'm just trying to sort out this chat, because what is that? Hang on a second. There we go. This is Restream, who constantly keep making changes to stuff. And it's not very helpful. That's not brilliant, but I'll leave it there for the minute. So I've got all sorts of stats that I pull down from a paid API. I'll show more of this at another time. But it's a bit like, obviously, I like to use the FOTMob and show what is happening with some of the fixtures. So head-to-head wise, 4 wins to us, 2 to Bolton, and 1 draw in that. As you can see, the more recently, Bolton getting a 2-0, 4-0, and then the draw, and then previously us getting the wins. So we definitely want to come back and get a result against Steven Schumacher tomorrow. Gavin, who's really in the strongest position? And last time we said we've got, let me just move back out of that. Last time we said that, we felt we carrying the momentum, with the results. And then we had this break, whether it was a good thing or a bad thing, time will tell. But yeah, who do you think's gonna have that edge in tomorrow's game?
On form, you'd say us.
Yeah.
I think they've won 2 out of 7, Bolton. They've drawn 4, I think they've drawn 15, 16 games this year, which is a bit of a Shuey-ism. The reason why we didn't go up when we got battered against MK Dons last game of the season in 2021 was because we drew too many games in the year, and we didn't go for it. And I think he learned from the year after and strengthened the squad. We're more direct. I think I listened to Schumacher's press conference earlier, and he basically said home park is not a nice place to go if you don't start on the front foot, and I think that's hit the nail on the head. They'll want the ball, which is fine because we don't want it. We'll want it in their final third, but we don't want to be playing forwards and backwards and sideways and ups and downs, and they will, which is great for us. They've got Kelly Dunn back, but I don't know if he'll start. I doubt he will. I think he's in the same situation as Tolly, so I think they'll both start on the bench, which will be interesting. They've got I've got 5,000 step overs to save children in Africa per step over Sissoko, which will be interesting. If he plays, I think Joe Edwards will just laugh at him. if he can keep Mumba in his back pocket, I think he can keep Sissoko in his back pocket because he'll just stand there and what it'll be. Actually, do you know what it'll be like? That scene out of Indiana Jones where the guy with the sword and he just gets a gun out and goes bang. It'll be like that.
That's the best. I think that's the best analogy you've ever used. I
think that's exactly what it'll be. That we have to get an AI video of that and put Edwards on one and Sissoko on the other in terms of faces. But Shuey will want to come down and dominate, so he should. He's got probably a stronger squad than we have, but I think we've probably got the strongest side we've had for a number of months. We're far more direct. I think our secret weapons are still Curtis with set piece. Having Herbie rides again sat in the middle of midfield would be a big thing. Although I must say, I thought Jamie Patterson did a really good job against Huddersfield, considering he only played there a handful of times. So midfield's back. Boateng will win it, and Herbie will spread it. I think we will probably dominate the final third, and I think we're probably too strong in both boxes with our defence at the minute. McKenzie looks like a real deal. I think our back four is probably the best back four in the division at the moment. I have to say we haven't conceded many lately, have we?
Lincoln maybe.
So it's maybe Lincoln. Stevenage actually probably have got a better goal, less goals conceded record than anyone else. But I think that's because most of the time gets spent up in the air, and it's. I enjoyed the Stevenage game because I had the ball at my eye level at the upper tier of Mayflower for most of the game. But yeah, so I think they're great. I was only just thinking actually, I quite like Bolton at home. The last time we played Bolton at home, we were match sponsor, my company, and we won 2-0. Ennis scored and Hardy scored off memory, and we had Zaz and Whittaker and Mumba and a back three with Nigel Longvike in it somewhere off memory and Dan Scott. From memory from that day, without turning into Sam Down. But yeah, that was a good day. So I think it will be, they'll flatter to deceive. We'll win the ball in the right areas. I think we'll push and press for early set pieces where we're really strong. And I think if we go a goal up, I think they will have to chase it, and then there'll be lots of empty spaces. But I do like the idea, as per TC's press conference, of saying having a very fit, very hungry Laurent Talai for the last 30 minutes could be interesting. So we could see Peppel and Talai for the last 30 minutes and bring off a Senny. I don't know. But yeah, so they'll play Shuey ball because they was Will. By the way, they kicked our ass up there. We were awful, weren't we, earlier in the season? They played some good stuff and we were not very good. So we owe them. And it will be an interesting game of tactical 4D chess, I think.
Yeah, no, I like that. Yeah, it's getting me even more fired up. I do have, I'll bring this up as well, Andy, then I'll come to you with this one. So, here we go. This was from Sport and Life FC on X. Ian Kerno Green shared it with us in the WhatsApp group, which if you want to join our WhatsApp group, we got a good bunch in there now. Sometimes as Ninja Matt from X, who's joined us in there recently, went, blow me, I'm going to have to mute this because there was a period of where loads of chat goes on and then it's all quiet for a long time as well. But if you want to join us and get in touch with one of us, either on the Block 9 channels, DMs or private ones, and then we'll invite you in. So it's a private invite only. Yeah, it's good. Everybody gets to talk more things Argyle in that. And of course, don't forget to subscribe and follow and do all that jazz across all our channels as well on YouTube and X, Facebook, Instagram, and all that jazz. And also Finley's one and Argyle's new news hub as well. So make sure you give that a follow. But Andy here, most expected goals, the XG, created from set pieces in the Sky Bet League One this season. And oh my days, look who's at the top on 21.74. Lincoln just sat below them. The only two teams in 20 and above for XG. That's Lincoln on 20.65. That is mental, Andy, to even remotely see that level of XG after the season we've had.
2 words, really, isn't it? Ronan Curtis. He's made such a difference from coming in and putting that ball into that area from free kicks, corners. You know, it's been outstanding, isn't he? I mean, how many goals have we scored from corners? When was the last time we didn't score from a corner, sort of thing? We had a problem way back, didn't we? We just couldn't get anything from corners, and now we're just
corners or set pieces,
all set pieces, and they're just pinging in now, aren't they? Adding to that, Herbie Kane as well, who can put a good ball in there, and you've got the set piece specialists in there, aren't you? So yeah, it's no surprise that Argyle are up there with the amount of goals being scored. From all over the park, really. Ross as well chipping in. So yeah, really impressive, isn't it?
It's
Bolton are down in 7th.
It's just mad. It really is mad. And what we paid 30 grand or whatever it was for him, and it goes back to that old adage of sometimes things just don't work out at the club that you're at, and or you're out of favour, or there's just people in the pecking order then that you can't get past. And I think fair play sometimes, just get your head down, just do what you do, and opportunity will come along. And when it does, if you've still got the hunger, then you've got to take advantage of that situation. I mean, Finley, it's I've got the top 16 on there. There was a team in 17th, but I cut them out. I wonder if you can guess who that was. But yeah, you got Stevenage then on 18.5, Wickham on 18.02, Northampton 17.5, and Bradford on 16.08. So it is incredible, Finley, isn't it? And Andy's right. I mean, the difference, Rules was making that difference when before he got crocked. Then Curtis coming in, and it's just been day and night difference, isn't it?
Yeah, I think Curtis has been a really good signing since he came in, because we didn't think he was going to live up to Mumba's standard when he was in League One and Championship. But yeah, I think Curtis has been a really good signing, especially more than for his set pieces, and also Herbie Kane has been really good for set pieces as well, especially making that impact straight away. Yeah, I'm not surprised that we're up there with set pieces, and currently with the form we're on right now. I think by the end of the season we could have a really high amount of goals scored from set pieces, and also with Ross able to get on the headers as well from the air, which I think can contribute to a lot of that as well.
Yeah, it's just the defenders. I mean, we all know that from Sturrock's days of old as well, sort of Coughlin at the back post and all this sort of stuff, getting all the players involved in those opportunities. And even again, it's Mitchell's the one that gets the attention in the box from the opposition, and it's going to be difficult for them because they're almost going to be like, well, who do we go and make sure we mark? But not forgetting that you've got the typical forwards and strikers that are going to try and get on the end as well. I think what will be really interesting for me to see, Finley, is will Argyle do anything different with their, whether it's a corner or their free kicks? Because you can carry that for a while before teams try and then mark and close it out. But again, when you've got so many players that are a threat in that box, which we haven't had for so long, it's almost like, well, will they mix it up a little bit and try a few different new things tomorrow?
I mean, they could try a few new things, but I think a majority of it will stay the same. But I think there will be a bit of variation. Of course, Bolton are a very strong team, so I think we might see a few things different. But I think they'll try and keep it the same because, of course, that is a good way of able to get us over on the front foot for most cases.
Yeah, no, totally. No, it's exciting. It's exciting. I'm just gonna go back to. I'll read the comments after this. Bear with me because this is still in lots of development. So I appreciate it looks tiny. So I will make it up. But it's just the league. So I'll just read out. So it's highlighted obviously our last game against Huddersfield, but we're in ninth. Obviously, even with the other results going for the other teams. Bolton on 66, I think that is with my glasses on. In their last 5 games, 2 wins, 2 draws, and a loss. So they have carried a little bit of momentum as well before this international break that we've had. But it's a chance to really get up there. Goal difference plus 16, I think that is for them versus our plus 6. But there really is a chance, I think, to just go out there and, as a few of you said in the comments, start fast, which I shall read some of those out now before I come to then the lineups. So what we got, Ben Collins, evening fellas, he says, good to see you in, Ben. Stevie Vaughan, Ross won the most headers in March. I do love the stats that you pull out, Steve, every now and then. Peter Henwood says, I'm being greedy, 6 points the next 2 games, but why not, Peter? It will make up for all that work you've been doing in your garden today. Just a Jana, does that include own goal hamsters goals with the XG? May well do. Of course it wouldn't. Bless him. Will we see him back in the squad for this fight for the playoffs at any time? What else have we got? Stephen Cooper saying we got the start fast tomorrow. Luke Hodge, evening, says to lie fully fit and been in training 7 to 10 days yet, as noted in the press conference. Just can't see why you would pick your best striker on the bench when you've got 7 games left and need to win. Well, when we come to the lineups, we'll see. I did question and challenge that in the WhatsApp group earlier because it's a valid point. So it will be interesting to see what he does. What we got? Michael Hort says, sounds like it's going to be a great game tomorrow. Hope it is, as I'm going to too. I'm not sure, who have you got tomorrow, Mike, as well? I don't know who Reading have got tomorrow, but Stevie Vaughan saying Bolton have not won at home park, typo, obviously, since 1975. Yeah, that's a good omen. I like you picking that one out, Steve.
That was a boy.
Yeah. Alex, no, neither was I. I can say that too.
I was.
And Finney wasn't even a figment in their parents' imagination.
His dad wasn't even a twinkle, I don't think, probably.
Probably. That's what makes it bad. Probably not.
Yeah.
When was your dad born, Finley?
He was 1980.
Oh, same as me.
There you go.
Rightly.
There you go.
I made none.
Daddy wasn't even a twinkle, let alone Finn.
Same as me. Going back, Patterson is very overrated. I don't think he's that good, in my opinion, says Alex at Argyle. I think, yeah, as you said as well, afterwards he was okay against Huddersfield. Again, it's just minutes. Look at Dale, needed those game minutes and was just outstanding against Huddersfield. So it is just getting into that rhythm, and they're all going to have to now fight for these positions. Killian Andresden, evening, he says, looking at that, it looks like a German flag. Is that in the background? I don't know what the crest is, but evening, welcome to the show. Also early, sorry, Gavin?
Welcome.
Yeah, there we go. We also had I don't know if he's still in, a Lincoln City fan in earlier, Edward Walker, said, good luck, Plymouth. Hope you win, from Lincoln City fan, or you will win in the playoffs. I think there's nothing stopping your team now going on and taking the league crown, that's for sure. So let's go to the lineups. Now, I'm just going to bring Carl's up because I haven't loaded Gavin's up just yet, but let's get Carl's up. So Carl has gone for.
He's done me there. He's attacking the Barn Park end, not the Devonport. I was like, why is he playing Hazard up top? Sorry.
Well, we've seen Mitchell go up there, so why not? Hazard's in goal in Carl's lineup, and then a back four of, no surprise, McKenzie, Mitchell, Ross, and Edwards. In midfield, he's gone with Dale, Kane, Boateng, and Curtis. And up front, he has reintroduced Talai straight back into the squad alongside Peppel. Right. Bear with, this isn't Gavin's lineup. I'm just going to replace the image because I wasn't able to do that before the show.
4-1-4-1.
There we go. And then, so you'd seen Carl go with Talai up front, and Gavin will show you otherwise. So go on, Gav, take us through your lineup.
So same team, apart from Aseni for Talai. And here's the reason, really. There's 2 games in 3 days. 2 games in 3 days. Yeah, that's right. Talai won't start in both. I think the not easier of the 2 games. That's wrong to say, but we're going to need quality away from home more than at home with 16,500 nutcases screaming and also really wanting to put one over a certain Mr. Schumacher. The other reason is I think Aseni's probably the fittest of them at the moment because although you could say Peppel's fit, he's played every game, he's just spent 12, 13 hours in the air post sitting on the bench and having a few training sessions for Canada. So he would have arrived probably late Wednesday on the plane, got home probably early hours and then was in training today. So he isn't going to have the best preparation. I'm sure he's hydrated and I'm sure he wasn't cramped in seat 2C in coach either. He's probably in business class at least. So I don't think he'll have had that bad a journey, but it's still dehydrating in it on a long haul flight and all the other bits that go with it. So it's not ideal preparation to kick up football. So I've gone Aseni. I think then if Peppel is fit enough to play 90 minutes, then you haul Aseni off having run himself ragged and hopefully got a goal, but doing that whole high press thing really intensely. And then they'll play it back 4, I think, 4-2-3-1. And then you bring on the superstar for 30 minutes who's hungry, fresh, and wants to prove a point. And you give him that 30, 35 minutes. And then on Monday, you start them, Peppel and Talai and move Aseni to the bench. That's just my thought process on it. Might be right, might be wrong. But I think that's what he'll go with. Looking at the comments that were made on the press conference around Tolly being a handful with 30 minutes to go. There we are.
Yeah. I think, Andy, sort of get your views on it. For me, it's one of those where I get the point on Talai, which is why I brought it up, but you're coming up against a side that are also wanting to stake their playoff case and place. And Aseni will be at more match ready and match fit as so will Peppel. So actually, it's probably the best to start with Aseni and Peppel, see how the game goes, and then Talai, though, will be absolutely chomping at the bit to come on in that second half and give a tired midfield and defence the runaround. So, what would be your thoughts then on the starting up front?
I like both. I like both teams. To be fair, they're both strong. They're really strong. The back 4 speaks for itself, doesn't it? That gets picked every week. Your midfield, great four players, and they're really constructive players. And the top 2, I think I'd stick with this actually, Peppel and Aseni. Yeah, I think Gav's got it spot on because Peppel's is going to get even if it's only half an hour for Peppel, I'd rather have him getting rested for the Barnsley game, and then have Talai and Aseni up, or maybe Aseni playing the whole game, and then Talai coming on for the last 30 minutes or so. So. Yeah, that's they're both strong teams, aren't they? It's hard to choose from. But I would go with Gav's team. Sorry, Carl, if you're watching or listening. Just purely because Peppel's can hold the ball up and Aseni's got that pace, isn't he? So,
Finley, who would you go with up front?
I'd go with Peppel and Aseni because Aseni has the fresher pair of legs to go throughout the game, and then of course we know what Talai can do in terms of what he can do with defence. So I think to get that last push with him second half, I think that could, if it works, that could really help us with moving with the game going forward.
Yeah, it's. I don't think there's nothing else you're going to really change in that lineup either, is there?
No.
Isn't it amazing though how, like we're saying, Dale's nailed on because there would be some severe moisture in certain mattresses around PL something in recent times if you'd said, "Oh, Dale's nailed on," because he's had a real big retribution since he's come back. I thought he was great before he got injured. He's just direct. He is, and having got that goal as well, which was a blinder, by the way, and I've watched it back several times in the last week or so. He puts his foot right through it. Having got that, hopefully, a bit like a shark in a ocean of one drop of blood now, and he'll be off looking for others. So. Yeah, but you would never have thought that, and I think Mackenzie's the real deal. I know Galloway's like touch and go with his abdominal stuff, but I think Mackenzie's the real deal in terms of left back, and another one where we were like, oh, when he first come in, oh, he's a bit fragile. You just need game time. You need to build a rhythm. You can't just come in and be at your top of your game, having had months out. And all those players now have played with each other a lot, which is really key in terms of the game plan. Probably minus Aseni. Everyone else has played a lot of game time together. They all know what they're doing. They all know their jobs. They all know the rhythm of the game. And I think they've all got enough intensity to trouble Bolton's, not tippy-tappy, but it's certainly pretty, isn't it? Or tries to be pretty.
Yeah, I mean, Stephen Cooper's just highlighted as well. What about Patterson? What about Galloway? We touched on Galloway. What about Patterson? He's a good player, and you got Talai.
But we've got Caleb Watts, Talai, Patterson,
Watts,
Benarous.
Eamon. I don't think he'll.
No, but yeah, he's.
You got Wes Harding.
It's a strong bench.
It's as strong as a team. I think Saturday will be the strongest squad we've put out all season.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Yeah,
is if we got this 7 plus Saranola to come back on Monday, then potentially Ibrahim the following week, and Wiradoo.
And even
he's got a real headache because there's going to be some senior players who aren't getting a peg on a Saturday, which is going to be exactly how we should have had it all year. Then we could have had rotation. Then we wouldn't be in this mess. But anyway,
and Plaguey as well.
He had an appendix. Be my uncle.
That one again, Gav. But yeah, Andy, Plaguey, I think with Plaguey, because of the knocks that he picked up after coming back, it's almost like, unless we absolutely need to, then we won't risk him in any way.
I think there are players before him on there. That there are players to be chosen before him, to be fair. And again, sorry, Julio, if you're watching, but there are players out there who will potentially get before you, young man.
Well, it's good. It's good though. It's good though that it's good that these players are coming back. Tegan Finn, who we didn't think would come back. The only one that is guaranteed not to come back, or could he hit the playoff zone, is Rules. But as Stevie Vaughan said there, Rules is actually back first week of May, which could tie in quite nicely. Ads as well. Ads Taylor says late in tonight, evening guys, evening all, evening to you, mate. Michael Hawks, is Dale out of contract at his club in the summer? Does anybody know the answer to that one?
I can find out.
I think he's got one more year.
Yeah, but could be a deal to be had there. Wigan are playing tonight against Leyton Orient. It is 0-0. So that game, I didn't realise there was one tonight. So, I saw the comments. So I went and had a quick look. 36 minutes into that game. Well, I'll tell you what, because there's no game. We've been spoilt for games on a Tuesday, etc. Now because of the Bradford replay that were, and someone shout me the date it was rearranged to.
April 21st.
Oh. There we go. The right man with it.
Daly's out of contract at the end of the year. Sorry.
Oh, is he? Okay, nice.
Yeah, so 31st of May is out of contract.
Yeah. So we'll have the Bradford Tuesday night game, which we wouldn't have had a Tuesday night game in these last remaining matches. So that will be interesting. Just a little bit of travelling to do midweek and back-to-back games, but we've managed to cover that very well. Sorry, Andy?
That's a winnable game, that is.
Yeah, definitely. Definitely with how upset they were by it all. score predictions. Then, if we finish off that preview, as we're nearly up to an hour now. But again, thank you all for joining us tonight. Trying to get yourselves back into the rhythm of, there's Argyle podcasts again and the match, and it's the Easter weekend, so 2 games as well to keep us all excited and occupied. But Finley, what is your score prediction for tomorrow's game?
I've gone with 2-1 Argyle.
2-1.
I think.
And who are you going to score? Go on, goal scorers.
I was going to go with Talai and Oseni.
Okay, yeah. Gavin?
I'm going 3-1 Argyle. I think that they, having watched them a little bit this year on Sky, if they're behind games, Shuey's chasing it. I think if we're 2-1 up with 10, 15 minutes to go and Talai's on the pitch, we will get a breakaway goal. So I think that'll be the third and put it to bed. Unlike the Oseni miss, although that did cheer me up because I had the sweepstake of 2 goals difference around the table. So I pocketed 20 quid because of that.
Nice.
And actually, looking at that back just on the side, there's a very faint flick from the keeper and it hits the outside of the post. So it's not... I think without the keeper's intervention, it probably goes in. But anyway, that was a good touch for me. So yeah, 3-1. I think we'll get maybe 1 or 2 set piece goals. So whose turn is it? Mitchell. I think it's his turn, isn't it? I think it is. Ross got the last couple. Mitchell. Boateng's due a goal of importance.
Yeah.
And then Tolly late. There you go.
Yeah. So, yes, it was 3-0, you said, yeah?
3-1.
3-1, sorry. It's only because Carl,
I think
Carl needs it for his prediction league. So there you go, Carl. You got your 3-1. So, yeah, Andy, what was it you went for in our WhatsApp prediction league thing?
Right,
earlier?
so I'm going for a really high-scoring game here, 1-0. Now, because it's going to be a tight game. Let's not kid ourselves. Bolton are going to come down here. They're going to want to cement their place in the playoffs. It's going to be a tough old game, but I'll take a 1-0, but my heart says 3-4-0. But yeah, I'll say 1-0, and I'll say Owen Dale is going to score the goal. There you go.
Okay. Stephen Cooper's gone 5-1 to the Greens. Ads Taylor has gone 3-2. What have we got? A late winner for the Greens as well, he says. Hazard assist, says Stevie Vaughan. I think I went with, did I go with 2-0 or 2-1? But I went 2 to Argyle, and I said if Talai starts, well, even if he comes on, he'll probably do it. Him and Ross, I went with. If not, I said Pepple and Ross. I got Ross right last game against Huddersfield, but you just feel that it's difficult to choose because they aren't always coming from the obvious places. And it is worth recapping that goal from Oseni, Gavin, like you said, because his run with the ball into the box was brilliant.
The best thing was Matthias Ross's pass. He was like a true number 10. He was like, slide him in, off you go.
Yeah, it just goes to show when the confidence is running high. And also, again, what a player, who's settled in, as we discussed on the last show, into this English League football in superb style now. I've had conversations with people on him who were just like, he just hasn't got it for this league. And boy, has he come on leaps and bounds. Nicholas G is going for 2-1 to Argyle. Luke Hodge says Argyle 3-2. A lot going for Argyle to score 3 goals. Stevie Vaughan saying 2-1 Pepple and Talai. Arthur Bushby, evening to you. I'm a Leeds fan. Pepple first goal scorer. Had him a few times. Welcome to the show. Appreciate you dropping in. I tell you, a little bit of a segue here, not because it's just Leeds, but I'm a big fan of listening to podcast shows, and I love to find stuff that's interesting. And whether it's on Apple or Spotify or you use their BBC Sounds, I came across a series called Gangster, which, if you like that sort of stuff, is about history of different clans, firms, and all this sort of stuff. But they had a hooligan one in season, whatever it is, 8, I think. Tony Bellew does the narrating on it. And it was fascinating. It's about 4 episodes. They're all about 30 minutes long. And it takes you through the history and the rivalries, Leeds, including that. Some of the big names that were involved in that at some of the big clubs, West Ham, Chelsea, Millwall, they talk about very much so. And it's just really interesting to just hear how that was back in the 70s in particular. So if you like to listen to history of that sort of thing, go check that out. It is absolute. And Tony Bellew is brilliant actually at narrating it. So there's a shout out to that. So thank you for coming in. But yeah, let's see what we get from that game. I will just play, because we haven't got any goals. The gaffers short these little short clips that Argyle TV put out on their channel. So I will go first with Cleverleys.
We definitely do have something to play for. You know, we were kind of talking just before we started this about moments earlier on in the season, and it's amazing that so much kind of has gone on in this campaign, and yet has the possibility to be really quite special. And we're seeing massive moments again. You know, you look at games here at Home Park in recent times. They've felt like really big games, haven't they? And Friday, I imagine, will be another one.
Yeah. I mean, we'd have liked if we didn't have to suffer so much pain in the early part of the season to get to where we are now. But sometimes it is a process that we had to learn about our players. A lot of new players having to learn about the club, the league, gelling together. A lot of injuries, but listen, we've got to where we are now through a lot of hard work, togetherness. The football club has to take a lot of credit for giving it time to do, to develop, and we all want to repay that now and achieve things for this football club. And I'm really excited by Bolton on Friday and the 6 remaining games after that.
Let's hear from Senny as well. Just to remind you what he does sound like.
It's a massive game. I think
think
Friday and Monday it's a huge part of our season. It's crucial, and I think we're in the best position to get the 6 points. I think we couldn't be any more prepared as we are right now, obviously coming off the back of our last 5 games. So I think as long as we prepare right and carry out the game plan, I think we should be all right.
There we go. That's the one from him. Let me just switch back to this view. That just, if you can see it, that is the series from the BBC. Just absolutely fascinating, mad. So a bit from Cleverly and Owen Aseni there. I tell you what, let me just, because I just remembered, sorry, Heather, that she's been sat in the background. There we go. Listening in. So we'll touch upon a bit of the news before we come to the Argyle ladies. And that is the season ticket. So as we wrap up, so I thought I'd ask Rock, not that I had to do that because it's quite obvious. Well, what was the sentiment like after the initial announcement from the club with the season ticket sales and giving us that 1 month to purchase them, and then obviously backtracking a little bit, which okay, they fixed it, they sorted it. That's all you can ask for. And this is what it said. Fan backlash summary. It said section, although it can't spell that properly, section 1, announcement details. Obviously, renewals opened on the 24th of March, deadline 24th of April. Only given 4 weeks. Adult price £528, and a modest rise of £1 to £2 a game, which actually equates to 4 to 5%. New tickets then on open sale from May, which would then go to £551. Section 2, as it put in the graphic, fan reaction, overwhelming negativity. It was hot on the socials, that's for sure. Biggest gripes, ridiculously short renewal window. It's a fiasco. Prices too steep for League One football. Loyal fans taken for granted and rinsed were some of the comments. Common quotes, Hallett should hang his head in shame, out of touch, desperate for cash up front. Eventually, the club did respond and apologise for the oversight, and they extended the deadline to the 3rd of May. It was. I'm still not actively, certainly on X, engaged in stuff on there. I'm just busy with so much else anyway, but I like to sometimes just take a more quieter approach to things these days. But to all my waffle fans, evening. It was quite loud, wasn't it, Gavin? And you can understand it, can't you, in fairness, initially?
Yeah, absolutely. I was really surprised because everything I've seen from the new exec, which is led by Paul, has been spot on. So the mood music was not listened to. It feels to me, and I might be wrong, but it feels to me that the head of finance has gone, if we just move this income back a month. That fixes that, and that. We'll just do that, shall we? And everyone's gone, yeah, well, great idea, move on next, right? And what they forgot about was the emotional side of this and how it's landed. And it didn't land very well. And fair play, they fixed it quickly. I still think 3rd of May's a tight window. I think I'd have probably given them to the 1st of June and then because you've still got 2.5 months of the season to start. Then we've sold, is it 10,000 season tickets?
Is that what the number is? I was going to ask.
Yeah, I think we sold 10,000 for the season because I think we put another couple of thousand on from the champ because we realised that we weren't going to get big away following of 1,800 every week like we did for the away fans in the championship, or certainly 9/10 of them, which is why we pretty much filled every game. So I think Bolton are coming down with 1,400 on tomorrow, which is probably apart from Cardiff, the only time we've got near selling out. I can't remember any others. So yeah, I don't think it was managed very well, I have to say. I'm sort of quite consistent. If I think the club deserves a slap on the back, I'll give it to them. I think if it messes up, I think I'll speak my mind too. And I just think it was not really thought through, which is unusual.
Gavin, do you think? I mean, I said it at the time. I mean, no, it wasn't. I mean, it was. I think I was at work at the time, and it popped up in the WhatsApp group, and you're just like, and you're thinking that doesn't feel right in terms of time frame. You know that the cost is never going to come down. The club finances, dictate that. Sadly, that situation. But part of me sort of said at the time in the group that, wow, are they? The money must be the P&L must be really concerning, and as we know, it's Paul's trying to deal with a lot. We've got the the loss of jobs going on as well. That is happening. But almost, did they think that? Well, actually, we just need to know as soon as possible how many are going to commit so we can budget. We can't really wait until.
I think they'll budget for 10,000 again if they've got 10,000 allocated. There was 5,000 in the queue. There's probably now realistically 2.5. So if some people vote for their feet, which they might, I'm sure there'll be others that will pick it up. So I still think they'll fill the allocation. My diamond ticket had to be yayed and nayed by the 14th of 20th of April, something like that. And then I got a follow-up call this week, which was quite to the point, I have to say. I'll be picking that up tomorrow. So they're keen. They're keen to get cash in the bank. They're keen to allocate, and probably like most football league clubs in our situation. But if you look, what may not have been picked up at the budget last year is the new minimum wage starting yesterday, which then takes it to 12.41, I think. That probably wouldn't have been factored, and that's going to hurt cash flow. So they probably thought, well, we can negate that by bringing some season ticket money in earlier. Who knows? I just don't think it was managed very well. I think it was. I think unless like it's death's door on the financial situation, which I don't believe for a second it is, and you're scrabbling around for pennies like Exeter. I think it's a really silly move because it's just. Of all the positivity that's going on at the minute, everybody's like buzzing with the on-pitch stuff. The off-pitch stuff has been pretty consistent all year in terms of hospitality, delivery, that type of stuff. To do that, it just, I have to say, it reeked of. Well, I said to someone on text, has Andy come back? Has he for a bit of keep in touch there or something for a day and made a decision? Because it felt like a Parkinson type decision, no EQ to it at all. Just put it out. Be fine.
Gavin, do you think to a degree, I mean, like we said, we've seen a lot of good stuff that, Paul's looks like he's going to establish and put in place. There's some tough calls. And, as we discussed the redundancies and that a couple of shows ago, this is the nature. It is a business. I know there's fans that just like, well, they're just running it like a business, but that's what it is. And that's what it is now. And also you've got the other clubs whose accounts have come out recently, which would also make your eyes water. I think Bolton only turning, did they turn a profit because of their player sales? But they were
13 million operating loss, and then they turned, and the same with Exeter. Exeter was I think 6-7 million quid, and they turned £500,000 or 300k profit because of player sales.
Yeah, so it is. It's such an expensive game, and these days. And I wonder for everybody, and I wonder if Paul not having a football head on at the time, and just because he's an ex-FD CFO, sorry, as well, I believe, isn't he, Gavin? And just looking at it, going, yeah, can we try and get that money in? And no one probably put their hand up.
I doubt it was him. Having
Really?
met him, having met him a number of times, I've had lots of conversations with him. I think this was done by other people. I think it's the head of finance and someone in the exec who I won't name. I'm not saying this is the case, by the way, by any stretch, but I will ask tomorrow because I'm nosy.
It's one of those things. Yeah, no, it's one of those things for me that does come across your desk as a CEO, but all I'm saying is that with so much going on and the finances, as Simon did stipulate in that last forum, there's no more in my pocket. Whether or not he still does a few things behind if it's bad, but I think people have to just accept that the reality could be quite stark. The whole sector out there, hospitality, Gavin, you will know this as well better than most. It is very much on its knees at times out there. You all know, you go out for a meal, and if it's just a couple of you, but it's 25 quid taxi each way, depending on where you live. Plus then just to sit down and have a main is going to cost you 40 odd quid. So, unless you go to McDonald's, but even that's it's still expensive too now. So it is very difficult out there with obviously what's going on in Iran and everything else, and as a business that I'm in, there's been tough decisions that have had to be made as well. The minimum wage, though, Gav, absolutely hit the nail on the head. You've seen local businesses on BBC Spotlight this morning and stuff. It is difficult out there. So it could be a more challenging situation.
If you think they'd have done their budget last February for this season, they'd have had 2 or 3 budgets, but there'd have been a stay-up budget, a best-case League One budget, and probably a base or worst-case League One budget. But none of that would have ever seen a national wage increase on the 1st of April. Fact. So that will hurt because there's a lot of heads, especially on match day. There's a lot of heads in the business on casual, the kiosks and the hospitality staff and the bar staff and the security staff and all that good stuff. So those that are minimum wage are going to get an increase, which is great for them. It's great for the economy. It's not great, essentially, at the time for the employers, and they'll have to pass it on. Bump that with some fuel costs going through the roof, where your supply chain, as you'll know acutely more than anybody, will be passed on. Because it will. Yeah. So there's a cash pressure, and I can see why they've done it. I don't think they communicated well enough. And if it had been me, well, there's 2 things I would have done actually better or different, not better. That's being a bit arrogant, isn't it? One is I would have brought in a dozen people from around the ground as season ticket holders for a lunch with Paul and the finance person and said, guys, we're thinking about doing this. Give us some mood music. What do you think the reaction will be? Be honest. And, a couple from hospitality, a couple from block 1, a couple from block 5, whatever. And you space it around the ground.
9.
And then you would have gone, oh, okay, maybe we should revisit that before it goes out. That's the first thing. And the second thing is, I think you could have softened the blow by saying, hey, you know what? If you've got a premium evergreen, or if you buy a premium evergreen, you can pay this monthly and you can pay it 0% interest. Right? Yeah. That would have been for me the 2 ways, because there's about an 800k I worked out difference if everybody, 4,000 of the people who haven't got an evergreen at the minute renewed their season ticket in that way. It's about an 800k uplift. And it meant that someone then could pay 50, 60 quid a month to have their season ticket, which would have been great. Now, the risk of the club is people get pissed off because we lose our first 2 or 3 games next year and they go, I ain't renewing. But and there's pros and cons of all that, and you can argue it till the cows come home. But something different needed to happen. I know a lot of people save through the season for their season ticket, and again that could be something as well. Like the Christmas clubs, you can chuck money in every month and then top up now, and it would have been an earlier top up of probably 50, 60 quid rather than 500, which is going to sting some people. But like Christmas, unfortunately, it comes around the same time every year, season ticket. So some people would have been saving, I think, probably expecting to have another paycheck to top it up. Maybe have to find a little bit of cash. I don't know. So I don't think it's as bad as some of the bedwetters made out. It was like the end of the world. But it certainly is an annoyance. And I think it was just the way it was presented probably could have been done a bit better.
Yeah, I think it's a shock and awe, to coin that phrase, from everybody with the timing. Obviously, the extension gave 2 paydays to allow for it. They do have the finance option, so you can spread not just over 12 months, but 4-month option that's there as well. I was talking to Gav about it on the side, and there's other options. People are big users. It's not an advertisement, but of your Klarnas and your ClearPays these days, they don't obviously offer those. And obviously look at, get help if you need it with finance, because it does catch people out. But they're tied up with the Ticketmaster that they use and the platforms that they have that dictate what those options are. But there's more options for fans out there that I think clubs should start looking at to help that burden, because football isn't going to get cheaper. It's going to get more expensive. VW Coco saying if of course, in capitals, we go up, we'll be one of the cheapest in the championships. There are some clubs that can financially sustain it and offer really great prices. Obviously, the cheaper, the more bums on seats you're going to get. And some of those clubs have quite a lot of seats. And we've seen a lot of games on TV, on the away games, where there's a lot of empty stadiums. But I think you're right, Gav. I mean, Andy, there is that waiting list. It's probably not as big as it was. But there's people that have been waiting ages, and if they've got the opportunity to financially do it and a space comes up, then they're going to take that chance. And sadly, for those that struggle or can't do it because of these other costs as well, it's not easy for anybody. It's a gut, because football is sometimes their life, isn't it? It's all they've got each week, and it's easy to forget that.
Yeah, the hook's there, isn't it? Football, especially if it's football that we're playing now, the hook is very much there. So when the prices came out, I thought, that's harsh, but you're going to get it, because Argyle fans, or any fan for that matter, will pay for it because they want to go and watch Plymouth Argyle play, whatever league they're in, because they're hooked. So yeah, there are people out there who are going to snap them up if some don't choose to or can't afford to renew. So yeah, cuts both ways, doesn't it? But you're going to get fans out there no matter what, aren't you?
Yeah, it reminds me, I said to the wife, I need to make sure, get mine sorted, being equally really busy. Both of us have, and it's like, yeah, definitely don't want to forget that. And renew my seat in the Block 9. If you are getting a new ticket, well, Block 9 could be a nice choice for you. You could not just listen to the show, but actually be in that block as well, like a few are. Finley, anything to add to the season ticket from you?
I think it was going to happen that there'd be an increase in price, but it's probably to combat with relegation, of course, with having to make up for what we've lost. But yeah, like Andy said, that we are going to have fans who are willing to pay that amount. We've got one of the best fan bases in the league, if not probably in the whole country. So
football leagues,
yeah.
You got Nick Mark, actually. That's a good point. I'll come to it in a minute. Michael Hawkes also saying our player sales inevitable. Well, at the end of the day, you'll sweat your assets. And if you need the money, you will certainly look at that option and just hope then that you can go off and find, Curtis's, Talais and all that lot, as well the following season. It's no good holding on to something if the cash flow is tight. Sadly, that, like we said, it is a business these days. Stephen Cooper also saying taxis, Mike, people can use the 3 bus pass. Taxis is a treat. Stephen is a taxi driver, just for those that are wondering. But yes, it is. You've got more options there now, but everything is going up. Mark made a good point and said, no concerts planned. Why not? And this is obviously the off season, not using the stadium to its full potential. The people need this in a faraway part of the country. Gavin, on the commercial side, that we could give a bit more of an insight into. It's a valid point, isn't it? Have Argyle just sort of let that go, or is just the opportunities not there because the cost of these things now are also not cheap to set up?
I believe, so you're from a cash perspective, I think the acts have to be paid at time of booking.
Right. Yeah.
So that's going to be an outlay.
Yeah.
Which not necessarily is going to be recouped until you get ticket sales, which obviously are in advance. And then you've got a top up on the day of food, drink, blah, blah, blah. I don't know what the net operating profit was from the concerts from last season.
Yeah.
It obviously wasn't that appealing, because if it was, they'd have done it again.
Yeah, it could be.
Because I think the bit surprise for me, I suppose, is like the first year it was horrific because it wasn't planned properly. They didn't know what they were doing, quite frankly. And the first couple of concerts were absolute pandemonium. They've now learned. They've got it nailed on. Yeah. The operating model, from the feedback I had from last year, and wife went with Next Door Neighbour for one. I think was it Take That? It was one of them.
Oh yeah, Westlife and
was it Westlife? Westlife, whoever it was.
Yeah.
And they said it was great. It was well organised. It was, you get a drink, you don't get the toilet too much, all that good stuff. So from a user experience, from a guest experience, it was really good. You'd have thought if they'd nailed the operating model down, it would have been profitable. But I don't know. I know, like, some of the acts the previous year they were trying to went on the hoe for that big music weekend.
Yeah.
So
competition there, and
whether there's competition there, and that's whatever the company is, they're a global business that does that with $1 billion odd revenue. So they've certainly got the monopoly on the bands, because that's what they do for a living. And Argyle would have played second fiddle a little bit, but and Albion have done Ruckus, haven't they, as well? So I don't know how commercially successful that was either. So everyone's having a pop at it. Maybe it was just they looked at it and went, effort over reward, probably not worth doing. There are some small events, aren't there, going on over the summer, which will bring in revenue, but it might be the fact they've just got loads of weddings and conferences and stuff, and actually that's taken priority because it's drip, 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 rather than having to have 2 or 3 very large, very risky events that will, either make or break the summer financial position. I don't know.
Yeah. No, it's good. It's good insights. It's a great question from Mark, and I think that's there's so many headaches to the insurance being one to host these events, let alone organising it. And you think, well, if you can offload it to a third party, for the rights for it in that summer, could they handle the initial outlays and all that sort of stuff. So and then there's part of me that says, has certain things maybe slipped there, which is also what's led to Andy going, and then Paul will just get the business settled first, then work out what we then want to do with the other bits. Graham Brown saying, my missus went George Michael concert, loved it. I didn't do that one, but I did a couple. I think it was the...
You're a big George Michael fan, aren't you?
Who, me? Well, I do like my Careless Whispers. All my Careless Waffles, as someone's a big fan of. Anyway, so look, I think the business, the football club, the football business does need to just get itself stabilised, and that is the absolute priority. It's great that even off the back of that initial, faux pas from the club, that over 10,000 have then renewed. I think don't underestimate how much of a relief that will be, £5.5 million odd quid or whatever it is. It just, there will certainly be a sigh of relief, not just an expectation, or if it's budgeted there because of the season, that will be a massive help.
If we go up, through the playoffs, it's a big if, but if we do, there'll be about £1 million of gate revenue from Wembley.
Yeah.
Broadly, if we fill it, of course. It's about 800k, I think it is normally. There'll be a full match day for the home semi-final, which will be another, I don't know, 300 grand, something like that. Don't know whether the gates are shared, actually. I don't think they are they? On the playoffs, not like a cup game. So you're probably looking at 1.2, 1.3 million uplift there, and then you go up and you get an extra 10 million quid of TV money. So that would probably fill many potholes that are currently sitting in the cash flow forecast. Nicely, with a roll over the top and then smooth road into next year, as long as the playing budget was kept, reasonably affordable. So let's just hope we go up, eh?
Yeah. Well, you've got to have faith.
Very good, very good, very, very good.
Thank you.
Like
so moving on, as we're an hour and 25 in. So thank you all for sticking around for this long. Heather, it's the floor's yours. So let me just, I don't know if you'll kill me for bringing this up, but I doubt it. But yes, hang on, come here, ladies and gentlemen. It is the Block 9 All Things Argyle Women. Heather sent this to me earlier on in the week, so I thought that's going up tonight.
Nice.
Cracking photo. There we go. So, unfortunately, it's our happy intro, and it's good to see you again, Heather. Wasn't quite the happy ending in the cup final on Saturday, was it?
No, it was not. But the build up to it, like the whole event was fantastic. But it was just on the day, it just wasn't our result, unfortunately. We didn't get the silverware in the end.
Yeah, it's I won't pretend that I sat there glued to the TV watching it. I was doing some work on my app and I had it on the background, so I looked up at bits going on. I caught the goal. I forget the game because my memory is rubbish, but it was very reminiscent of the Hammond goal that went in at the corner. It was a good, yeah, it was a good corner, Heather, wasn't it? But and that was the only moment and the only goal in the game. And you just felt at the end, you just were like, oh, when we nearly had a chat where we did have the ball in the back of the net, it was offside, but it was just a shame to sort of lose the game on that sort of goal, wasn't it?
It was almost like the first half, we wasn't as strong as we normally were. I think we were more, I think because we beat them the week before, they kind of came out with that, we're getting revenge this week. And they definitely did that the first half. They put us off. We were giving balls away left, right, and centre. And I think obviously second half they had that Marie talk, and they did come out stronger. Just nothing ever came of it. Like the ball got stuck basically in that midfield, and just wasn't going either way for quite a long time.
No, I said that. I think I WhatsApped that in part of our group. We've got different channels, and one of them's the ladies' one. And I remember saying, "Blimey, Bournemouth have come out the blocks and are really up for this." And you could sort of see where the Argyle girls just sort of struggle just to sort of settle into the game a little bit in there, and they did come at us. But you know, throughout the rest of the game, the girls did well. They created some opportunities, but it just, the final whistle, you could just see the disappointment. And you said to me, because obviously I wasn't watching every minute of it, that there was a lot of frustration with the referee. Funny that we're talking about referees again.
It was basically, so this referee was actually the same referee that did the FA Cup run when we played Oxford away.
Yeah.
That obviously gave Liv the red card quite soon in the second half that disrupted our FA run. Obviously it was overturned because she said it wasn't deemed a red card, but obviously on the day it bowed out our chances going 10 men down with 45 minutes to go. And we felt the same again this way. Like she had something to pick with Argyle a bit. Most things was going Bournemouth's way. And any chance we got given, it was always the liner was flagging offside, and it's like, but how? And obviously you don't get VAR in the level that we are.
Yeah, it's well, I know you sent me the clip, and I haven't even watched it back yet. To be fair, completely forgot until I went into today and went, and I still didn't watch it. But was it offside from what you could see?
A few of the runs, no. Originally, the one with Phoebe Paul at the end, yes, that was a bit offside. But as well, the one bit I don't get is you can be offside from a throw-in since when?
Yeah, that was the worst one. There's a long throw, and referees, the linesman flags, the referee gives it, and they're all going, but you can't be offside from a throw-in.
Yeah,
I don't care.
If you watch it, they all just might mug the ref as well.
Yeah. But then I think Cavell or one of them got booked for remonstrating. Again, it goes back to my whole philosophy of failed milk monitors or referees. You can't tell me I'm wrong, even though I'm wrong. Here, have a yellow card. It's just pathetic.
Yeah.
So,
and then she was like shouting it was a handball, and we're just like, how? Where? It's like it went directly to Liv's feet.
Yeah, it was very, very poor refereeing. And on another day, they take it into extra time. And if it took it into extra time, I think they probably would have won the game. Would you agree with that, Heather?
I feel like if we went to extra time, the girls were hunting for it, and even if we went into penalties, I think the girls have been putting their mindset into that bit as well, that they were going to try and find that back in the net in the shootouts.
Yeah, it just I just remember at the end the shot as well. Right, like when we were right into extra time, and it was just like, and you just felt, God, they deserved, to win the league. Obviously, we'll come on to that next, with the advantage that Bournemouth have if they take it, of course.
No, the advantage is gone now.
Yeah, they've left
Oh,
it.
right, okay.
So
So we're all
there's 2
level on
games in
games.
hand. We're 6 points clear, and we got a better goal average.
Oh, nice.
So if we
Apologies.
win
then.
the 2 games, they win the 2 games, and this is the key point. We're in that playoff position against probably Wolves, isn't it? Is it Wolves?
It is Wolves at the moment, yeah. But Burnley, I think, have secured their first place. They're
Okay.
undefeated until obviously they played
They
us.
played us. Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah, well, so thank you both for that. So that just shows that I wasn't up to date on that. Which makes it even more exciting. But you just where I was coming at is you just felt for them because you're like, oh, they've done so well this season, and we've done what we've wanted to do for a while, and that is bring the exposure to it as well. It's not everyone's cup of tea. And we always said, especially those
I got mullered on Twitter.
You did you?
Yeah. When I said,
You got mullered.
those aren't going to Bradford, go to Loftus Road. And,
that one,
I
yeah.
absolutely mullered
Yeah.
by a couple of guys on Twitter on that, which I thought was funny.
We love the hate, but we love the ones that come and watch us and join us and discover us more, of course. So
it's all things Argyle, isn't it? Or isn't it?
Oh yeah, exactly. And at the end of the day, we got no issues with those that want to leave after when we come on to this. If it's not their thing, we absolutely have no issues with that. I'd never purport to be a massive women's football fan. Gavin does a lot of the games as well, but we want to bring that content to you. And whether you like it or you don't, if you don't like it, there'll be more of it next season. So bring it on. But yeah, you just wanted them to come away with something. So
it was quite interesting though, like speaking to the girls afterwards, they were like, yeah, it's disappointing we haven't done it, but our revenge to them now is we're going to win the next 2 games and stop them from getting that playoff. They all switched straight away when they were coming to see the fans. They're like, right, that's it. They squash them in the playoffs.
It felt like the Pizza Cup final loss for the men's team in 2022. Of like, well, we've just been stuffed at Wembley and embarrassed. Now go on and win the league. So that's the kind of vibe I got after the game.
The girls were fantastic. They picked, obviously, you could see they were disappointed picking up the silver medals. But speaking to the fans, they just picked themselves right back up again. And they're like, we go again Tuesday.
Yeah.
It's like to get that result at Bournemouth when they beat Bournemouth at Bournemouth was probably a nail in their season.
Yeah, we squashed so many of their runs, their statistics that week alone. So
I remember we said on the show
this season the ladies really have.
Yeah, it was ridiculous how long they had gone and beaten before that. I do have the post-match interviews from the cup game, but I'm actually going to not play them because I think I want to stay on a positive vibe. So it is Oxford and it is the last game at Home Park. But what I'll do before we get your thoughts on that is I'll play the short clip. So Argyle do have on the socials the Plymouth Argyle women accounts as well that you can go and follow. This is the clip from Argyle TV, 40-odd seconds of Marie Hurahan talking about that game.
Love Marie.
We've had a fair few battles with them so far in all competitions we've played in. It'll be another quite intense game this Sunday, won't it?
Yeah, definitely. As I said, they've got some very, very good players. They're in a good run of form. Obviously, knocked us out of the FA Cup and had a really good FA Cup run. So, we're under no illusions of the task at hand. But as we always say, we're at Home Park. We've got a good record there, and off the back of obviously the disappointment of the cup result on Saturday, we need a reaction, and we need to put a performance in that's more attuned to the standards that we've set ourselves this season. And as you said, 2 games to go. We know what we
need to do. So go on, Heather. Tell us about that game, and it's the least they can now just go in there and go, right, let's make up for it and let's go and win the league.
Yeah, so basically on Sunday, this will actually be our 4th meeting with Oxford this season.
Sounded familiar.
So we played them away, which we won. Then we played them at Home Park in the National League Cup qualifiers, and we won there. and then obviously we played them in the FA Cup away, and they knocked us out there. So it's one of those is we have beaten them 2 out of 3 times. We know what they're doing. We know how they play, and it's one of those is we are still looking for that almost a bit of revenge from the FA Cup as well. So the girls have got that little bit of bitterness in their teeth to, right, you kicked us out there. It's like, we'll show you that we're like playoff promotion like material.
And of course, home form as well is going to come into that as well, isn't it?
So
that home form is going to come into that as well, isn't it?
Yeah, 9 times out of 10, yeah, we know our pitch. We have like obviously one of the only teams that play on a men's pitch. So we have that advantage that we like to play out wide. We like to use the full use of the pitch.
Yeah. It's Ellie Noble's ex-team as well, all
Yeah.
her family from Oxford. So she always seems to play well. That free kick at home in the FA Cup was, the League Cup was phenomenal. I think I said that to you just after they scored. It was absolutely team arranged.
Yeah.
She belted one from about 25, 30 yards and under the
It was quite lovely as well. I actually sat by Ellie's dad at the Bournemouth and the cup final as well. So that was quite lovely speaking to him.
No, I think
the one mistake I made, not that anyone will care, but what my thought on the game, but I actually thought they should have started with Paris Dalton and not Tamara Wilcox. Tamara's a good player, but I think Paris Dalton, because she's bigger, stronger, rangier, she moves the ball forward quicker and is far more physical. I think second half when she came on, there was a massive difference.
It's one of those. It's always a lot of girls came down with Marie and Tamara being one of those. So they are almost favourites to always start. But in a game like that, it wasn't the best use of our team. Obviously, Unalu couldn't play and Phoebe Hampson couldn't play because they were already tied. Yeah. And then almost like you kind of felt like you missed them as well on that pitch.
Yeah, if Unalu, certainly second half, late doors when they were tired, with her pace, she'd have come on and caused havoc. But let's hope they win the next 2 and we get 2 teams in playoff finals. That'd be nice, wouldn't it?
Oh, definitely. I have seen obviously Michael's comment about how does the playoff work in Women's League. I know I obviously have said this before. So basically, Watford are currently in number 1. They are automatic promotion. Whoever's in second place will play second place Northern League, and whoever wins out of that one will go up. So basically, the Northern Premier first place, Southern Premier first place, and then the winner of the playoff in second place goes up. So 3 will go up next season to the WSL.
There we go. Well, yeah, fingers crossed for that. And as I said, we'll find out a bit more on that game next Thursday. But so, yes, if you want a football filled weekend, then obviously you've got the game against Bolton tomorrow. Saturday, then you can go off and enjoy the wind and rain because I don't know if the sun's going to stick around then. But then also Sunday, then you can go and watch the women's game against Oxford. And then, of course, it's the away game on Monday. So if you're not going to that, if you are, then safe travels. But you can also then join myself and Carl. I'll be touch and go, but I think we'll be fine coming back. The wife has kindly said, we'll leave after breakfast from Northampton. So get back to do the watch along. And I'm looking forward to that as well. 6 points this weekend, 9 points this weekend, if we include the ladies in that. Anything further to add, Heather?
Not really. Obviously, if we win the Oxford game, the last game of the season we have is Real Bedford on 26. We actually took a coach up to Loftus Road. That was actually quite greatly appreciated. And we are potentially looking at another one for Real Bedford. So if people want to come and see that playoff game, basically, to ensure that we're in that second place. It's like obviously details will be coming out soon about that. But obviously try and get behind the girls. This Sunday is a Project 35 dedicated game, which is the first one for the women's. So obviously they are collecting non-perishable food, hygiene products, etc. for the local communities with obviously all the pay rises and like people losing out on some money. Obviously it goes a long way these days.
Yeah, look at Project 35 if you want to know more about that. Thank you for that. Well, your score prediction for Sunday?
This one's quite hard. They are a challenging team, but I think if we get a good 2-0 over them, I think we're much more comfortable. But to be honest, it's the child I need to ask because she's getting the predictions right.
Yeah, she is. She's like the oracle.
Where is she?
She is at Daddy's. I will be picking her up on my way through to the Bolton game tomorrow. So I'm basically I did Huddersfield, then I did the Argyle away with the women's, then I'm back at Bolton, Argyle women Sunday, and then I'm back for the Exeter game for the men. So I'm slowly getting to more men's games. Okay.
There you go.
That's the
There you
spirit.
go. There you go. There you go. Well, you're getting to watch lots of decent football. Gavin, as you regularly go, I'm guessing, will you be there Sunday? And also, what is your score prediction?
I think we'll concede. I just think Cole's a hell of a keeper, but she's only 2'3" on tippy toes, and that's what caused the problem on with the corner on Saturday. It was a little bit Ashby De La Zeus-esque. It was sort of float over the head in the back of the net, and they didn't do the job. But I think we'll concede, but I think we'll end up winning again 3-1. I think we've got better quality, and the bench will make a big impact with Una Lewin back, and it'll be interesting to see who she does play in midfield, whether it be Paris Dalton or Tamara Wilcox. But yeah, it'll be a good game. The girls are buzzing for it. They're looking to get out and see the last game home, and they're already nagging me about potentially going to Bedford. But I tried. We bought tickets for the cup game, but Ellie had tonsillitis, so we couldn't go. So had to cancel hotels and tickets go back, all that nonsense. So it's a bit of a shame. So I've kind of semi-promised them if there's something to play for that we might go to Bedford. So we'll see.
Yeah, there we go. There we go.
I think as well with you saying that they might concede is we actually did better with the conceding. The last time we played them at home, we actually went 2-0 down half time, and then finished 3-2. So we do play better almost for coming from behind. Not that you want to give a goal away, but
no.
Well, look, best of luck. Let's hope for an all-round positive Easter weekend. I see Stephen Cooper's just reminded us all that the Argyle game is, for those that have it, on Sky on Friday and Monday, because it's not a Saturday normal kickoff time. So at least it means I don't have to dive through my VPN tunnel on Monday to go and watch it from France. So I'll be able to put it up on my Skybox, which is good. But yeah, so right, we have gone way over, but it's been good to get back into it. Lots to talk about. I don't think we've missed anything, but let's get some final thoughts. So Finley, I'm going to start with you. Go from the top to the bottom. It's your first time on the show. It's been great to get you on. At least unlike Harvey, you don't have to jump off at 8:30 to go to bed, which is good. Harvey hopefully will be joining us on Saturday night after the game, so he should be on that one. But yeah, what's your final thoughts for the weekend?
So yeah, I just hope that we can keep a solid team throughout the whole game versus Bolton. Hopefully we can get over the front foot, and then that would probably give us the morale boost to push for playoffs if we get there.
Yeah, excellent. It's I think we've got nothing to lose, Andy. So I think we do have that advantage, which might make it a little bit more edgy for Bolton and the other teams already up there. Your final thoughts, mate?
Yeah, 6 points to aim for, 6 points to go and get. Let's go and do it, lads. Let's make that final push. Block 9, not all just block 9, but everyone in the crowd, just get behind their boys, rally them through, and let's go and win it.
Yeah, Carl did do a bit of the old Bolton one with the old American "Your Club Needs You" with Schumacher on. So we said, let's go and do one with Cleverly on, and you saw that. Actually, Heather, it just reminded me, if you'd have actually played on the Sunday like Carl originally put out on that image of his, we might have done better in that cup final. Yeah. Bless him. You got just AI won't always get it 100% right. Bless him. And Gavin, your final thoughts tonight?
Just as per, I think we need to be as loud as Huddersfield and as loud as Cardiff on tomorrow. I was going to say Saturday on tomorrow, and I think there's 1,100 going up to Bradford on Monday, which I'm sure they'll bring the noise. They always do, and it would be nice to get a couple of thousand on Sunday, which I've just checked the forecast is the sunniest day of the weekend. So be nice to go in short sleeves and cheer the goals on. So everything's to play for. The squad seem really confident. I think they're both sides, actually, the women's and the men's. They both seem in the groove. They both know what's in front of them, and it should be 2 professional performances over the weekend, and then we'll back it up Monday with a convincing win at Bradford, which would be nice for TC to go and beat his hometown club.
No, yeah, good point. Can it? Well, will it be a hat trick of wins then for Gavin and as well Heather on the weekend? But yeah, look, anything else for you to say?
Not really. Obviously, both the boys and the girls need to obviously pick up the points. Obviously after Oxford, we got a nice 2-week break for the women because they obviously had the international call-ups with Tiana and Phoebe again. So again, hopefully the 2-week break will get them ready for that last game of the season and hopefully that promotion.
Yeah, definitely. It's easy to forget that we do have internationals in the women's team as well. Michael Hawkes, just on the anything planned for these two games. Obviously, we're at the game tomorrow, so it will be the Saturday show at 7:30 for the post-match review. So it'll be, at least I'll have plenty of time to put the prep together, where it doesn't get close to the time with all the videos you wait to come out. But looking forward to that. So it'll definitely be me. Gavin, are you there Saturday evening?
I'll have to get back to you on that one. I might be. Well, the wife asked me out to go out for dinner, which is very rare. But I don't know whether she meant it or whether she was just one of those, let's go out for dinner. Oh, no, I'm too tired. So I suppose it will very much depend. Sorry?
Did she ask you yesterday?
Did
it was April 1st yesterday, wasn't it?
No, she asked me Tuesday, I think. Well, Tuesday this week. So I've kind of said, yeah, no problem. We'll go out for dinner if you want to go out for dinner. But depends on how stressful the kids are when I'm drinking all day tomorrow.
As you said earlier, you're going to.
I've had a very long and very crappy week, so I'm going to enjoy hospitality tomorrow in a very big way. Good job the pod's not tomorrow night because I will be squiffy.
Well, to be fair, that makes it quite entertaining. Last time.
It just makes the show better, doesn't it?
Yeah. So definitely myself. I mean, it could be a lonely night. I think Carl is free off the top of my head. Andy, you're not because you got your
family down.
Son-in-law and that down. And Easter weekend is that time for the family. Finley, you're more than welcome to join if you're available on Saturday night. Harvey should be joining us. We've gone earlier at this slot now, so we don't. He can avoid his bedtime. So it helps with that as well. But yeah, there'll be enough of us to hopefully digest a great result. But everybody, if you join us over the weekend or not, enjoy the Easter weekend and those extra 2 days. Obviously, massive respect to all those in hospitality of any form that will be working those days, except for the Sunday, of course. So enjoy that with the family. But yeah, shout out to them. But other than that, thank you for joining us tonight and